What are acquirers and capital providers looking for? I'm Arthur Petropoulos, managing partner here at Hillview Partners. We're a middle market, lower middle market, M&A and capital advisory firm helping owners and executives of businesses sell their companies, secure capital, typically within the $1 to $10 million pre-tax earnings range. And so today's video, I want to discuss specifically what are acquirers and capital providers looking for. Now, obviously, we've made 150 plus videos discussing all of the different nuances around this. We oftentimes get the question, just tell me real quick and easy. What is it that they're looking for? Give me some high-level targets. We can dig into the details later. And so what I'd say is check out all of the other videos, obviously, that we've put out here on LinkedIn or YouTube. But if someone were to really press and say, what are the 5 things people are looking for? First of these is cash flow. Now, we say businesses sell on 3 prongs, and obviously prongs number 2 and 3 will also be elements of this video. But first is going to be cash flow. All of the metrics in the world relative to the fundamentals of a business are great. There's many of them that people are going to want to look at and analyze. But at the end of the day, cash flow, EBITDA, pre-tax profit, is going to be the first gating metric that almost any acquirer or capital provider asks about. Second thing that capital providers and acquirers are going to look for is capabilities. So as we're speaking with different parties, the question always is, what's the size of the company? And that's typically the cash flow item. And they say, what does the company do? Why is it special? What's its capabilities? And so we say, okay, company solves this problem by providing this service. Company solves this problem by providing these products. So service, product, or offering, why is it special? Why is it unique? What makes it compete on quality, not price? And we always want to be a price maker, not a price taker. And so capabilities are going to be second prong out of the 5 that we're going to discuss today. Number 3 is access. And so we say, okay, size of the company, what does the company do? Who does it do it for? Is there a niche? Is there a sub-niche? Is there an industry, a demographic, a geographic area of focus? If that can be defined well, then it'll very much be crystallized to the counterparty that you're discussing it with. Number 4, customer duration. And we say duration, not contractual length. Historically, say in the early days of private equity, when there were manufacturing companies being sold, oftentimes they would dig into the contractual length of a customer and saying, okay, how long are they obligated to do work with you? The more and more we see businesses, if a customer's not happy, they're going to find a way to not do business with whoever the company is. And so customer duration is usually a better indicator of how captivating a service, product, or offering is. There's plenty of software companies that sell for billions of dollars that have month-to-month recurring revenue, but it is recurring in nature because it is a good enough service that the customer wants it. And so historically, in a more, call it industrialized business, you used to have very specialized contractual manufacturing companies, but in today's day and age, there's more specialized, call them job shops. And while acquirers were not as desirous of that historically, if they see that, okay, it's more project oriented, however, you are doing these projects for the same customers for 10 years, then what's really the difference? Does there need to be a contract if the customer's been there for a very long time and has every indication that they're going to be there for a long time? And so customer duration is probably the 4th biggest thing that we'll dig into with an acquirer or capital provider in the early conversations. Number 5, what's the long-term vision? What's the thesis? What is the thing that this can grow into? And so numbers 1 through 4 kind of highlight what is there and what historically has been the case. And number 5 really looks forward. Okay, so let's say this top is spinning. What if it spins faster? Where else can it spin? What is the forward-looking vision for the business? And if that's as captivating as it's already been there, it makes a very strong case. So to recap, what are acquirers and capital providers looking for? These 5 things are a great place to start. Cash flow, capabilities, access, customer duration, and a long-term vision. Now, what's our tip here? Is that even though these 5 things are the key things to talk about, A, there's many more things to talk about, but B, the order in which some of these can be talked about will be heavily dependent on who the counterparty is. For instance, if you have the Widget Company of America and you are talking to the International Widget Co., who does business everywhere in the world but America, you're going to want to heavily rely on access. If you have a software that does quoting and inventory management for distribution companies within the specialty chemical space, then if you went to a gigantic chemical company that does not use this particular type of software and has meaningful operational inefficiencies, then you are going to rely heavily on the capabilities. And so while acquirers and capital providers are oftentimes looking at a core nucleus of information that is somewhat consistent from situation to situation, depending on what it is that you have, the hand of cards that you're playing, you really need to know what is the best way to lead the dialogue, what is the best direction, what is the most captivating component that you can communicate to the counterparty. And that's where a lot of the magic takes place. And so it's a matter of narrative, but it's also a matter of implementation. It's a matter of narrative, but it's also heavily dependent on communication as well. And so that's a thought for today. If someone were to say, what are acquirers and capital providers looking for? These 5 prongs are a very strong critical mass to start with. So I hope the week continues to go well for everyone. Keep pushing forward. God bless. We'll see you next time.